I have a confession to make. I chickened out. I'm a coward. It was the Gulf Stream. All summer, every night, there are thunderstorms over the Gulf Stream. The hot water heats the air. It rises, makes clouds, makes thunderstorms, makes its own weather. Every night. And I was in those thunderstorms once as a small child. My parents crossing from Bimini back to Florida. And our neighbors were with us in a slightly smaller boat. It was so bad that they put their family on our boat. And one guy drove their boat with a line attached to ours in case he didn't make it. Everybody made it, but there were big waves and a lot of wind and rain and lightning and just the kind of stuff you don't want to be out on the ocean in. And the issue with the sailboat is speed. I ran it around a lot this summer, and it's an excellent tiny house. And it's great to be self-sufficient. I can pack enough stuff in there that I can be completely away from land or stores or gas or water or anything for a couple months if I want to. I also went quite a ways in the sailboat, and I was able to know how far I had traveled and how long it took. And the maximum speed with the sailboat is about 2.5 miles an hour. It's 60 miles from Florida to Bimini. That's about 24 hours. That means being out in the Gulf Stream through daytime and nighttime. And a lot of people do it with these boats. And once you're over there, it's easy. You're out of the Gulf Stream, that weather pattern is behind you, and you can go to the Exumas, and it's a lot like the Florida Keys. You go from one island to the next, and once you've explored one island, you pull up the anchor, and a few hours sail, you're at the next island, and you spend a few days there. It's great. But I did not want to make that Gulf Stream crossing. So I got this. This is a Carver 27-foot Santiago. It's 2 feet longer than the sailboat, but furnished much more luxuriously. It goes 20 miles an hour at minimum consumption cruise, which is getting the boat up on plane and then backing the throttles off so that it's just staying on plane. 20 miles an hour. That crossing can be done in 3 hours with this boat. In the middle of a calm, sunny afternoon when the ocean is flat like a mill pond. And I just scoot across in one afternoon and spend the evening drinking Heineken beers on the flybridge, looking back at all those thunderstorms that I don't have to be out in. This boat has a flybridge. It's a place to drive from up top, where I'm way up in the air and I can look down and see things in the water ahead of the boat much better than I could with the sailboat. So let me give you a tour of the boat. This is the new boat, a 27-foot Carver 2767 Santiago. It has this place where I can drive up top, the flybridge, where I can actually see where I'm going. The sailboat had to be driven from the back, and although I could see all around, I could not see straight ahead. This back deck opens up, and below it are two inboard engines with outdrives that can be lifted out of the water. You go down 3 steps into the cabin. The galley has this sink that has hot and cold pressurized water. The stove can be either alcohol or 110 volt AC, depending on whether I'm plugged into shore power or have a generator running or just want to use the alcohol. This is the V berth, which is the coziest spot to sleep on the boat. There's also this big back cabin that used to have a bed in it, but now has a lot of tools, a dehumidifier, and a freezer. It's going to be converted into a storage room with a big work counter in it. This closet is for any of your clothes that have to be hung up, like your formal wear. It has an indoor bathroom. The toilet is electric flush. The sink and shower use the same pressurized hot and cold water system, and there's a wastewater holding tank that can be pumped out when in port. Here's how the sofa converts from a bed to an eating table. The tabletop has these neat little tracks that let it slide from side to side and be latched in various positions. So I can eat or work on the laptop, or even small projects can be done at the table. The sofa I call the lap of luxury. It was almost a joke to call the sailboat a luxury yacht. But although the Carver is only 2 feet longer than the sailboat, it is a luxury yacht by comparison. You do have to climb over the back of the sofa to get into the V berth. But the mattress, which is the floor of the V berth, is thickly padded and very comfortable. There are these curtains that can close off the V berth in case other people are staying on the boat with me. Again, climbing over the sofa to get out of the V berth. And this boat has no lower helm, which makes it impossible to drive from inside the boat, but gives you the big living room area. And the refrigerator works on 12 volts or 120. It's maintaining 32 degrees at the moment. It switches from 12 to 120 volts when you plug in shore power. All the drawers except the top 2 in the kitchen are very deep, so there's a lot of storage space there. There's also this storage behind the galley counter. This side has a bunch of my stuff in it already. The boat has these bins along either side at the top, which I really love. They're similar to the overhead bins in a plane, or some motorhomes have these. And they're not in the way of any place you'd want to stand up in the boat, but provide a huge amount of storage space, which is always in short supply on a small boat. And these are the same bins on the other side of the cabin next to where the bathroom is. They already have some of my camping supplies and stuff I take ashore. This little cabinet is for the sofa accessories. It stores the table legs and the cushions that convert into a bed. I also added a clock, a tide clock, and that black thing is a stereo with a detachable face that was popular in the 80s when the boat was built.